What do we have here? Well, first I got a new surface to do the videos on. It's weird though. It's like it's memory like foam. So when you press it, it like leaves little dots. I don't know if I like it. But the white wood background, it seemed like it was too bright. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I feel like maybe this is better. But what we have here for knives today is a battle of the K brands. We've got Kubey versus Kizer.
Kubey versus Kizer.
This is the Kizer Z82. It is one of my favorite Kizers and one of my favorite budget knives all around. Now, it has one small setback. It's flipper only. That kind of bugs me. It's not my favorite to have flipper only. So I put this little goocher on here that I made up out of another. Well, I'll show you. When you get these, they come like this. You can get these off Amazon, and they're like these little pieces that go over your top of your blade, and it lets you thumb it open, you know, if there's no opening for it. So I think they sell those for like buck knives and stuff that are normally you have to have the little finger nick in to open or something like that. But so I cut that one down, cut it in half, made it into a small one, and it was just like the other one, but copper, brass, I guess. So that's what this has. This Kizer Z82 has that, which allows me to thumb it open and stuff, when normally it would be a little tougher. You could kind of friction opening it, maybe, sometimes, yeah. But it's good to have that piece on there. But otherwise, this thing is terrific. Is it N690 steel? So not the best steel in the world, but it definitely holds an edge. I kind of find it acts similar to 14C28N. Is it similar on paper? I don't really know, but I find it to be kind of similar. In other words, it sharpens real easy, takes a razor sharp edge. This has been sharpened like, I don't know, 4 times. I'm almost kind of lost the little point of the tanto there because of all the sharpening. I try not to lose it, but it kind of starts to go away. So, drop shutty, the usual beautiful Kizer drop shyness. Better than most Kizer drop shyness. It's like a hydraulic, just beautiful, beautiful sound. It's got speed holes, and that's why this battle really is occurring, because when I got this guy, I thought, you know what, it kind of looks a little bit like the Z82 because it's got speed holes, and it's nothing like it really other than that. As you can see, unopened. I have not figured this out beforehand. I don't know if this sucker is going to beat the Kizer or not. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Let's use the Kizer to open it. Listen, Kizer, don't cheat and try to fuck up the other knife as like, you know, so that you'll win. Okay, careful. Just cut the package. Okay, there you go. Good job, Kizer. Thought I felt like he was just going to try to cut into the other knife there. Let's get this guy open. Boop. Okay. Okay. Not as nice of an action as I was hoping for. A little like it's too tight. Maybe it is too tight. You know what? We'll find out. We'll find out. What is this guy called anyway? It's called the Kubey Hound. Well, it's the KU 172E. I think it has a real name, but I'll find it out and I'll put it up here. The KU 172E. It's kind of a boring name. So let's find out though if maybe the pivot is too tight, because it feels like it's a little bit too tight. What's the steel on this guy? Oh, that's interesting. So this is a Max Tkachuk design. He designed stuff for Tucson quite a bit. He's done quite a bit of Tucson knives, so now he's doing something for Kubey, which is pretty cool. I like the design. 14C28N, so you could argue better steel than the Kizer. You could also argue it has more opening options because it has a nice thumb stud. Wow. Ooh, look at that. Look how close they cut that corner on the thumb stud, almost hitting the frame. I love that. I love it when you cut it real close, man. That's nice. Okay, so let me try to loosen that pivot and see, because it feels, wow, look at that. See, like I pulled the axis lock back and it doesn't even fall. Come on, there it goes. So I think maybe it's too tight. Let's find out. All right, so we got our little Weehaw tool here. My tools are also like everyone else's Weehaw. The parts, their little driver bits are pretty much the best, the Weehaw guys. Looks like it's got a captured pivot, which is great. Okay, loosen it up a lot and then tighten it back a bit. Let's see. Okay, that's got a little bit of play now. Let's see. Still a little kind of grabby. Is it not bearings? Is it washers? I think it's bearings. It's interesting. Okay, it's definitely better. Yeah, that's definitely better. But it's also a little bit loose now. So I'm going to tighten it back up again, right to the point where it stops wobbling. And see if it's still better or what. That's interesting. Why would it be? There's nothing else hitting on it. Maybe it's still a tad tight. Let's try. I am sorry, this is not just kind of like, let's take it out of the package and we'll be able to jam, but I want to compare them fair and square. You know, I don't want the Kubey to have a disadvantage of just being that the pivot was loose, because that can happen, or too tight. That can happen, you know. There is something else making it too tight. I don't know what it is. It almost feels like the blade hole is tight around the pivot, which would be weird. I am not sure what is going on here with this guy and why it's so not smooth, you know. You know what? I feel like I've given it the benefit of the doubt here. I'm not going to take it all the way apart and clean it out and all that. I probably could. And maybe we'll do a full review on it where I do that. But for the sake of a battle, that Kizer Z82 came out of the box, you know, pretty perfect. So we're going to have to compare them with minimal assistance from me making it better, you know. Not going to get in there and try to mod things or anything. Okay, so that's about as tight as you would want it. And it does not feel smooth. I mean, I lied. It feels smooth, but it's like tight, even though it's not tight. Like, I can wobble the blade back and forth a tiny bit, and that usually means it's not tight. I don't, let me see. All right, when it's locked out, can I wobble it? Yeah, I can. I can still wobble it just a tiny bit even when it's locked out. That means it's not too tight. It's just not. But it feels too tight. Damn, come on, Kubey, shit. Look at this shit. I'm trying to throw it back in. It won't go all the way back in. I don't know if I should continue this. It's just, I didn't want to blow up Kubey and say, wow, what shit knives. But, all right, I can't do it. I got to try to take it apart. I got to see if there's something that makes sense about why it's so not. It is smooth. Okay, not smooth is not the right word. Boy, that is all gunked up in there. Look at that. I mean, they sent it from the factory. This is brand new. Sent it from the factory like that with all that shit in there. You don't see that on a Kizer, I gotta tell you. Man, I like Kubey. I don't have any problems with Kubey, but damn, dude. Come on, man. What is that shit? Is that Loctite? Yeah, it's like some kind of Loctite or something in there, but it also looks like it's mixed with grease. Okay, let's get the screws out of this thing. You can push the pivot through with something, and then now this piece that I push it through with locks everything together, okay? And then now I can pull this piece off, right? And then the bearings and the blade are all in there. I'm going to take the whole thing apart anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So I can take that out, and this can fall. Oh my. Okay, well, it is not a bearing knife. Interesting that they would do that. Wow, interesting. And it's got a lot of the bronze stuff come off of the washers because it was over tightened. So since it was over tightened, it left a residue of all the little bronze crap all over the place. I think it's phosphor bronze is what they call it. So anyway, it's all gunked up, and the washers are kind of worn down and self-polished at this point, so I mean, they should be pretty smooth. I'm going to put a little tiny bit of oil. Where'd the other washer go? Oh, the other washer's still inside. All right, let's get this other spring off. Okay. Don't even have to take the spring off, really, because I'm going to pull out. I'm going to take this. I pulled the spring out of a little hole, right? And then I'm going to take the axis lock and slide it down and then over and then out through this big hole. And the spring can hang on there. I don't care. So they put a funky lube in here, I think, and it's kind of gotten mixed with all the worn off bronze. You can tell that, I think, that they had this thing over tightened. Because, I mean, look at the kind of circular wear that's on that piece. Now, maybe they, I don't know, maybe they cut it in a way that made it look like that, but I don't think so. I think that's from the wear of it being over tightened and then opened. Maybe just the few times it got opened by me. Quality control is not remarkably good so far on this Kubey. It's sloppy QC at best. We'll say sloppy at best. Ready to put back together. We'll see if there's any improvement at all. I don't really expect much of an improvement, really. I don't know why there would be, really, you know? I have the bad feeling that this thing isn't going to be any more drop shutty smooth than it was before after all this messing with it. One thing I didn't do that I stupidly should have is I should have checked to see if the blade was actually tight on the pivot, and that was what was slowing it down. Because, well, it's a little better. At least it's actually dropping, kind of. Oof, what the fuck? That didn't feel right. Yeah, fuck, man. God damn, Kubey, what the fuck? Look at this shit. I pull it back. It should fall. It takes a minute. Finally, it does fall, but it's just not right, man. Maybe it'll fucking wear in. I don't know. It's smoother. It's a little faster, a little smoother. Sounds a little better. Is it centered? It is not centered. So what I'm going to do is loosen 2 of the screws. Actually, I'm going to tighten these back in. Super tight. I'm going to loosen the ones on the other side. I'm going to jack the blade the direction I want it to go. And then tighten these guys back up. Yeah, see, the only reason I wanted these guys to be the ones to tighten was because the blade wanted to be pushed the other way. Yeah, so, yeah, there we go. That's better. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's get the, it feels better. It is a little better. Man, I keep hitting the camera. Sorry about that. The pocket clip here has screws that set down into it, and that's good because it also sits right up on top of the G10 and isn't set down into a little spot like it could be. Now, that's not always a terrible thing. It's not a huge deal, but it could be better. It's always better to have your pocket clip set down into a little pocket, as it were, and then also the screws are set down. See, the bottom of the pocket clip sticks up above the G10. If it was set down into it a little bit, it would be classier, nicer. Boy, that one feels a tiny bit stripped. The Kizer is not set down either, but it's also not a deep carry clip, so it doesn't matter as much. All right, how does it feel with the pocket clip? A little better. How's the air goes on this guy? Not bad at all, not bad. I like how the G10 looks. with these cutaways so you can see the grain of the G10. And obviously I love speed holes. Speed holes are great. The size on these two, very close. Blade length is about identical. The handle on the Z82 is a little longer. The Z82 is a little heavier. It's got, I was going to say the liners are a little thicker, but I don't know if they are. I want to say they're the same. So the liners are the same. The G10 is a tad thicker. Well, no, it's not. No, it's not. So I would just say the difference is the tallness of the handle, probably, because it's definitely a little heavier. Let's check the weight on these two. And this little showdown between Kizer and Kubey that Kizer has already won, basically.
Hey, Kizer! I'm calling you out!
Well, just hang on there, partner. I had to strap on my tool belt. Are you ready?
Ready?
Are you set?
Set!
Do you need a count?
Nasser!
Hard to trigger with them other fingers, but... You can't be too careful. Whoa! Looks like when they made this fella, they forgot to put in the quit. 5 fingers at a bullet apiece. I ain't got but the 1 bullet left. Sure hope I don't miss. Let me see here. It's hard to be on the left, but in the mirror it'd be on the right. Of course, we is both facing the same way, and the gun is upside down, so... Yeah, best not to play it too fancy.
.62, 3.62. So this is an ounce lighter. You definitely can notice it. It's noticeably lighter. It definitely has gotten better since I took it apart. Look, I can do this now. Couldn't do that before. So it's better. The blade is nice. I like the blade shape a lot. It has a top swedge, kind of like the Kizer. Right? Kind of similar a little bit. Right? The Kizer is kind of a clip point, or even almost like a Bowie a little bit, kind of. I'm going to call it a clip point, but almost with a Bowie style. This is more of a long clip point. The fact that this has thumb studs is a plus. You know, if this came with thumb studs, it would be obviously better. Okay, it's kind of being okay now. Let's see. Is it loose, though? It is a tiny bit loose. I actually have to tighten it up. So if I tighten it up, is it now going to be a little more harsh again? Yeah, still a little loose. Okay, it's getting there. Now it's lost a little bit of its smoothness. Not smoothness, drop sheddiness, free movement. Like, yeah, no, that's not the best, man. Look, it shouldn't be doing this. Look. Like, this should be hanging. It should be hanging and going whoop, 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 whoop. That's not great. Look, here is a $25, actually $20 knife. Let's see, how is it? See, look how this one is. That's how it should be. This bitch has bearings. Maybe I could steal the bearings out of this one, put them in it. I don't think so. I don't think there's room in there because they didn't leave room. They made only room for the skinny little washer. So you'd have to have a very tiny bearing to fit in place of those washers. And I don't think that's really doable. They saved some money on this one. They didn't have to spend money on bearings. They didn't have to spend money on countersinking a little hole down into the blade on each side to let the bearings sit inside there. So they saved a little money by making this thing not as easy to open and be drop shutty. Now, some people are going to like it. Like, say, people who like Chris Reeve knives, maybe. They're going to be like, oh, that's my style there. It's not all sloppy around and flopping around. It goes where you want it to, right? So, there's pluses to it. But to me, it's a negative. I feel like they just cut some corners, put washers in it. Maybe they're going to claim that, oh, we did it on purpose because then it's more of a work knife and it won't have, dirt won't get in the bearings and stuff like that. Let's look at some other parts of it. Let's see. How about the fit and finish? The fit and finish on the Kizer is better, period. These are flat scales. The Kizer is actually slightly contoured. So definitely a plus. You can see the layers of the G10 along there where it's contouring over. Where this one is just that, what they call, what the hell do they call that? Peel ply finish on it. It's not quite peel ply, but it's their version of peel ply finish on it. I would have to say, in my kind of final conclusion here, listen to this guy. Wow. That they're not even close. This Kubey is closer to a gas station knife than it is to the Kizer Z82. Okay, that's my thoughts on it. Does the design look nice? Yes, it's a really nice shape. It's a great. I think the blade is well made. The thumb studs are cool. The access to the access lock is perfect. It's great. Really, the scales are well done. You know, it would be nicer if they were contoured for sure, but they're good enough. They wouldn't be a detraction on their own, but, you know, the fact that the Kubey, you know, has better ones make it better. It's not really a close race. The Kizer Z82 way outshines this Kubey. The Kubey's cool, though. If you get it for a, you know, a cheap price, or if you just like a knife that is sort of, you know, takes a little extra energy to get open and closed for whatever reason. Yeah, is it thin behind the edge? It's not bad. It's a cool knife, man. But Kizer wins today. So have a nice day.